Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? It is time for a Sixers check-in. I see all the tweets. I see all the DMs of you all out there saying, Broads, stop complaining and screaming about the birds. Let's focus on some positivity. Let's give the teams that are winning some appreciation. And that's what I'm here to do, okay? Because that win against Minnesota, Tyrese Maxey giving you 35 against that team. McDaniel, my ass. Okay, McDaniels, my ass. Here's Embiid, 51, working the mid-range jumper. Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns, both hands up, crying to the refs. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. You're damn right you didn't do anything, because Embiid got 51. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You don't have any answers. Nobody has any answers. Joel Embiid improved. Joel Embiid won an MVP, and he got so much better. I think this stops the whole narrative, and there are some Joel Embiid haters still left because, well, they can't get over the hump, and they can't get to that Eastern Conference Finals. But, and I've said some angry things after Game 6, after Game 7, and I don't want to relive those moments after Boston. What we do need to appreciate right now in the moment, though, is this. You can't question if Joel Embiid wants it. Coming up small, not executing, having tough moments, failing in the playoffs. Sometimes there's a lot of context to what happened. He wants it. He may fail, but this guy wants it. And how much more can you ask of a guy except for giving us everything in the world that you possibly can and then some? And I'll live with the results, right? We've seen athletes where maybe they don't maximize their potential. They think their shit doesn't stink, so they can just roll out whatever sport it is and just play, and they do really well. But there's still some left in the tank that maybe could even put them overboard if they just reach deep and wanted it more. They practice harder. Their working habits were more detailed. Whatever it is, man, Joel Embiid, he is giving you everything in Joel Embiid's body, and it is magnificent. We could be watching the best Sixer of all time, and that's no disrespect to any Sixer that's ever put on the uniform that meant a lot to this fan base, because, well, there are a lot of individuals you could point to that were wow, and the fact that I believe Joel Embiid could be at the top of the list shows you what we're seeing. And they also learned over the last few games, even though the Chicago Bulls won, unfortunately it slipped, but they put teams away professionally. They look sound, okay? And Stephen A. Smith said it best. Everyone writes in Boston. Everyone writes in Milwaukee. Don't be sleeping on the Sixers. And that goes right into what my little banner or my border says here on the YouTube show. Uh-oh! We suck back in? Can Tyrese Maxey be the number 2 guy on a championship caliber team? And I think, why the hell not? This isn't a league anymore where with the Miami Heat in their prime, you needed a 3-headed monster. You can get away with 2 and depth. I believe that. And they have depth this year. I know they did this without Robert Covington and Batum, which makes it even that much more special. They barely got double digits from anybody. They did it. They did it. 2 guys. 2 guys scored in double figures, and the rest of the team was just there. And yeah, it opens up the 1,000th conversation of, well, who is Tobias Harris? He's not worth it. We knew it the day he signed, the day he got the deal, the day that we acquired him, and then it was like, okay, Jimmy Butler, Tobias is getting a hefty bag. we already understood. I've watched Tobias Harris long enough to know that there's disappointing games in the future here, and he's clearly overpaid. But in years past, it destroyed them with their depth. They have the depth this year, and here's my question. Whether it's fair or unfair, because, well, Daryl Morey had a lot of mess to clean up. Don't sleep on getting out of Al Horford. Don't sleep on trading Jason Richardson. Yeah, I'm throwing it back. Josh Richardson. Okay, come on. I thought that maybe he could do more with the ball in his hands. You saw what he did in Miami. We got fooled. It sucked. He got creative, got rid of some stuff. Here's a Tobias Harris contract, though, and it is what it is. But Kelly Oubre, who was popping off before the accident happened and the incident and the injury, and if you're able to get production that's 20 points per game out of a contract like that, does it balance out? Now, in an ideal world, I would like to be more greedy. Okay, well, you could have Oubre and then you could break up the money Tobias is getting paid and have even more talent. You're right, but this is the hand we are dealt right now, and the MVP improved. Looks even more like an MVP. The guy's gross. Those dogs, man, his Euro step is 2,000 feet long because of his size, and he throws it down. Yo, Anthony Edwards, that's cute that you want to go up at the glass. That's cute that you want to challenge the big fella. You know what happens when you challenge the big fella? Bad things. It doesn't work out for you. Embiid ain't afraid. And that paint area, you could tell that players are so damn scared to drive. Of course they are. Who wouldn't be? Joel Embiid is a monster. And I won't lie to you. Over the Pistons and Charlotte, where they're scoring 140 plus points, it was background noise, and I appreciated it for what it was. And I didn't want to take it for granted, but they were just professionally putting away teams, and it was less about the scheduled loss stuff that we heard from Doc Rivers in the past, which is great. And, they're doing this Joel Embiid rest while just destroying opponents so much that by the third quarter, he's got 38. He's got 42. And then he's able to rest the entire fourth quarter and get some good rest. It's the classic load management, but you're doing it by design in a way that is so much more pleasurable. It's so much more enjoyable. It's actually a great time because I don't got to worry. I don't have to sweat it out, and you're pumping up these W's in just a way where it looks different. Context matters in these games. If the Eagles win out the rest of the way, they're 13-4. Do I think they're going to? No, but just hear me out for a second. 13-4, if I told you that was their record when the season ended, we'd say, oh my God, I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat. Let's go. Where do I put paper to pen? Obviously. But now that we have context, this is a disaster. Okay, this is an absolute blah. I can't stand it. And that blah was vomit, just projectile everywhere, all over the place in this studio. I got to get a deep clean. This thing needs to be scrubbed to its core. All right, so you need the context here. The way this Sixers team's playing and getting a lot of these W's in the regular season, albeit against a bad team, how they're doing it matters. In the two-man game between him and Maxey, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I know that last year they had the best assist man in the league. They did. Say what you want about James Harden. He led the league in assist. The problem is when it gets sticky and when it gets super stale and it gets to the I'm going to just dribble, and then step back three, the guy who's unwilling to get catch and shoot threes, even if there's a wide open look to the basket. When he first got traded over to LA, I remember seeing quotes about that specifically. Like, oh yeah, here he is after the game standing in front of his locker. You know what I need to do? I need to somehow catch and shoot. I got to take those shots. Oh yeah, it's only like Doc Rivers have been trying to pump that into your brain since you got on the Sixers. Dude, you're playing with Joel Embiid. I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. There's no reason to feel that way anymore because I'm watching a great young special guard in Maxey. The ball won't get sticky the way it gets sticky with with Harden. So it doesn't mean he's going to knock down every single shot he ever takes. It doesn't mean we're going to see consistently 5 threes in every single game. Sometimes the shot won't be there, but I don't think we'll ever be in a predicament where the lows were as low as it was with James Harden, especially when the scoring wasn't falling. It was just really ugly there. The highs were high, though, and there's no doubt about it. The question becomes, Tyrese Maxey at his age, it's hard to be a number 2 guy in the playoffs. And sometimes, not that he's unaware on how great he is, but he's just like a young, naive kid, right? He knows he's excellent. The guy's addicted to the gym. He's there at 4 a.m., and he now needs to be begged to go home. Go home. Take a deep breath. You're doing too much basketball. You're overworking yourself, but then he goes and puts up 300 shots anyway. He's obviously very dedicated to this, and he's fully understanding of his capabilities. But there is still a part of me where he doesn't at the same time. I know that sounds contradicting. It doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense to me. So I hope it makes sense to you. He's naive. So just go out there, and he's going to do crazy things in the playoffs anyway because, well, it's just Tyrese Maxey grabbing the ball and going. Not overthinking. He's not worried about his status in the league. He's not worried about ego. He's this awesome little kid. Deep down, he's like a little kid, and he's just taking the city by storm. He's an amazing player, and I'm enamored with it, man. The speed to the basket, some of those high layups off the glass. First off, the burst of speed, and his first step is so smooth and so quick that defenders look like they're in quicksand. Minnesota could play defense, okay? So they just went after it and scored 37 points in the fourth quarter. It wasn't a hold on, hey, great victory. They went out and took it. 37 points while McDaniels thinks his shots are nice. Come on, what is that? What is that? What is happening over there? I don't like that at all. I do love my friends at TickPick, though. And what if I told you TickPick is giving you free money? We all want to see Joel Embiid live, okay? Because we're all very intelligent people. Who wouldn't want to see Joel Embiid and Nick Nurse live? Well, they're giving you free money to go to the Wells Fargo Center. If you click the link down below in the description, you will get $10 off your purchase if you spend over $99. Now, it's the holiday season, so why don't you call a family member, call a friend, maybe take your kids, take your entire family to a game for the holidays and treat them. And like I said, they give you $10 off, and the ticket prices will beat any of the major competing marketplaces. They are so confident about it that TickPick guarantees it. If you find the same seats elsewhere at a better price than TickPick, you get 110% of the price difference in form of TickPick credit. And there's also upfront pricing. So don't worry about doing the math in your head to prepare for how much extra you plan on spending on top of the listed price than on other sites, because the price you see on TickPick is the price you'll pay at checkout, period, end of story. There's no additional service fees, hidden fees, or otherwise. Yeah, man. They did this without any scoring. Imagine what it could have looked like if just one other guy could drill a bucket. One other guy could get something going. I like the one Tobias dunk. There was one play Tobias made, and I liked the dunk. Other than that, Tobias Harris, oof. I still think his size and his defense will help out, especially when you're thinking of a matchup against Boston. Every time I think of what if, every time I think of can they extend the postseason and give us another series, even though the ultimate goal isn't the Eastern Conference Finals, by the way. Sometimes I think we get sucked into almost talking about it that way, as if the ultimate prize isn't the Larry O'Brien. I want to win a championship. I know we have to take steps and get over this stupid stupid hurdle that constantly drags us down. I'm with you. Trust me. I get it. But I still want to make sure that our vision is clear. We want a championship. We want the whole thing. And if Joel Embiid was able to jab step defenders in an NBA Finals and just do some nasty shimmies after a bucket or who knows, maybe he does the DX celebration, Game 6. Ooh, the Sixers are up. They're up 3-1. No, that would be Game 5. They're up 3-2. They're up 3-2. Jab stepping. The whole NBA world is watching. The eyes are glued to the big man. Same with Maxey. Maxey lets it cook. There's something about Tyrese Maxey to me when he's in the open floor, and I could only imagine where you're trying to backpedal defensively and figure out if he's just going to keep that burst going the whole way, or at any rate, does he stop on a dime and pull up and hit nothing but a back iron? The net doesn't even move. When Maxey does that, dude, I actually have an orgasm. It's unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable. Okay, let's go to the Anytime Hotline, and we will take some calls. So let's go to Zach in Baltimore.
Wow, what an absolute masterclass from Joel Embiid tonight. And you can't forget Tyrese Maxey. These two have turned into the best two-man game in the NBA by far. I mean, you got Joel, man, he's dropping 40 every night. And Tyrese, oh my, the kid's amazing. And this team, I mean, with those two can take you far, man. I tell you, when I watch them, it's like nothing I've seen before with Sixer basketball. My only complaint is Tobias Harris, really. You know, I think you should try to get him out of here, you know, and get something for him. If you can't get anything, you got to keep him. But, I mean, he just doesn't seem to, you know, keep it going. And we always talk him up like here he comes and early in the season, but come playoff time, he disappears. So I try to trade him. But hey, go Sixers, man. And peace out.
So, okay, the Tobias thing. He goes through his phases. Once again, we've watched him here for so long. It's already an understanding. Yeah, there's disappointing nights. Hey, he only takes 1 3 for a night. Well, how was Tobias Harris playing 37 minutes and only taking 1 3? He's not very efficient some nights. But then we call him Mr. Efficient. He goes through a 6-7 game span of great hoops, shooting 12 of 15 from the field. Maybe not that, but 9 of 11 from the field, and he's super effective. He's taking advantage of mismatches. He may have a one-on-one matchup where he's got some size. He'll use his body. He'll make leverage work, and then he'll throw a nice little hook shot, maybe 5 feet from the basket. Bang, it goes in. Like, I've seen that side too, and it's not fair to say that he is bad in the postseason. I actually think that he's had some pretty decent postseason ball over the last couple of seasons with the Sixers. And another thing. So, over the last few seasons, no, dating back to almost what is, 9 years now, 8 years now, eternity, way too long, how much change have there been? Okay, so now it's Brett Brown, now it's Doc Rivers, now it's Nick Nurse, now it's Jimmy Butler, now it's Tobias Harris, now it's Ben Simmons, now it's Dwight Howard, now it's Al Horford, now it's Richardson, now it's J.J. Redick, now it's Seth Curry, now it's Andre Drummond, now it's, you name it, Paul Reed. It's so much change. James Harden. It's so much change. Tobias Harris, him staying here, is there something to continuity? Daryl Morey here, not making changes in the front office. That's a big decision. And I don't know why there was any hate towards it, but, you know, Sixers fans are not very kind at times to Daryl Morey. What has he ever won? He's the most overrated name in all of hoops. The guy doesn't even have what it takes to win a championship, yet we put him on a high ground and give him the most respect in the world. Why? Because he's a damn good president of basketball ops. It's hard to win in the NBA. Super hard. By the way, when you're with Houston, think about what team's in the Western Conference then. All right? And if James Harden's such a loser because those same Sixers fans think James Harden stinks. Well, that's what his guy was, and that's who he had in Houston, and he went how far, and he was how close? It's difficult, man. Like, a few players run this league for a long time. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. I almost said Kevin James. Can you imagine Kevin James playing hoops? Him and Adam Sandler hitting the jab step, operating from the nail. I don't know if I like the idea of change. They've tried big names. They've tried making trades. They've tried doing a lot to switch over whatever gets you the best talent. And by all things considered, I actually don't mind that philosophy. But I think so many times after banging your head against a wall and recognizing that, well, this isn't really working, do you have to go in another direction, spin off? And this might be the best chance we have from a roster standpoint and from a coaching standpoint. Not many coaches move the needle for me. Eric Spoelstra does. Popovich does. Nick Nurse does. There's some decent coaches out there in the underneath category. But those guys really make an impact. So you have your deepest roster, a lot of options. Because in years past, if you had 6 guys that you could rely on in the playoffs and one guy was failing in a matchup, what do? Go to Furkan Korkmaz? What do? Go to Shake Milton? Absolutely not. You're done. You're done. You're toast. And quite frankly, you were so thin that Shake Milton might even been your 6th man, and that's you had to try it out there, and he was the one who was stinking. I'm just saying, you didn't have much to go to. Now, if Marcus Morris doesn't work, let's throw in Robert Covington. Robert Covington doesn't work, let's get creative. Let's find a way. All right, let's get Pat Bev out there to be scrappy and that pest that's going to get under everybody's skin. You can try different things where before maybe you could try different things. Trying Furkan Korkmaz ain't trying a damn thing. All right, that's giving up and that's waving the white flag. But sometimes you got your hands tied behind your back and it's all you got left. So you have to fire everything off to see if anything will work because your original option is not good enough. Well, now you have things that you can try, different rotations, different bodies, and veterans. Marcus Morris has played a lot of ball. Robert Covington has played a lot of ball. That goes a long way. That's the fear with Maxey. Is it more about, is he ready yet? It's a different beast in the NBA postseason. Guys like Tatum aren't even ready yet. Hell, guys like Embiid, I think he's ready. I thought he was ready last year, and he's super close, clearly. Those guys are still figuring out. Well, if those guys are still figuring out how, of course Maxey is too, but there's a sense of being naive to me, even though he's not naive. It makes sense to me. Just go with it. What else makes sense to me is HelloFresh, baby. HelloFresh. All right, a crazy schedule can make it easy to fall back into your dinner time recipe rut. So what you need to do is keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every week. There's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. HelloFresh does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-portioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step cards. It doesn't get much easier than that. The recipe card shows the pictures, and you can't screw up anything measuring-wise because it's already pre-portioned for you. Follow step 1. Open the bag, pour it into the skillet. Bada bing, bada boom, your significant other is going to pull your pants down. HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout as well. So that means you get an easy home-cooked meal on the table and even more money back in your pocket. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to HelloFresh.com/50broads and use code 50broads for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/50broads and use code 50broads for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Back to the phones we go.
Hey, bro. It's Bryson calling from Los Angeles. I just wanted to know, do you smell that? Like, smell around? Do you smell that? Like, no, it's not what The Rock is cooking. No, it's not Five Guys. It's not Delisandro's. It's the 50 Burger. Let's go!
Nobody can stop the 50 burger. No one can stop Joel Embiid. Joel is a savage. Savage. He started playing basketball at 16 years old. The guy's taking the league by storm right now. While Giannis is chasing down balls and he's trying to fight guys in the tunnel because he wants his ball. We got our guy hungry, ready to go to work. Am I taking shots at a champion while Joel Embiid once cried off the floor against the Toronto Raptors? Maybe. Where did that come from? I don't know. Just roll with it. Embiid's sick. Embiid's gross. I thought he was gross last year. He's somehow double gross. He's double stank. You ever be near somebody in Target and they reek, they smell like shit, and you go, oh my God, this guy reeks a body odor? All right, well, that's Joel Embiid times 9, except for the fact that he's so gross, he's good, okay? He's so gross, he's good. Does any of the show have any sort of substance to it? It's a great question. It's a great question. And that's what we do here at Broge Media. We ask all of the great questions. I love Joel Embiid, and I love what this team has done. What we're going to do is take a look at their upcoming schedule before we put a bow on this. They play the Toronto Raptors on Friday. This game in South Philadelphia. Monday, 8 o'clock, you got an ESPN game in Miami. Then you play Orlando. Then you play Houston. You play Chicago. A nice 4-game road trip. So going on the road to face some teams. I don't even know where Miami falls right now with their record. The Miami Heat are 16-12. So that's where they are now. They're 6-4 in their last 10, while the Sixers are 7-3. The Bucks are 8-2. The Celtics are 8-2 in their last 10. Celtics sitting at 21-6. Orlando, though, 16-10. They're in the 4th seed right now. But after the top 3, there's a big dip. Nobody views Cleveland, New York, Orlando. No one views them as a serious threat. Pesty, good enough to beat you in a game, but not as a serious contender. And some won't even give the Sixers the benefit of the doubt yet. And I understand, I do. I've always been in this belief, though. They're constantly knocking at the door over the years. You're going to break through eventually. You're going to break through eventually. There's no way. It's just odds. Okay? Call me Mr. Analytics, if you will. Here's analytics for you. If you're constantly getting to the second round game 7s and you're failing, it hurts. It's brutal. There are reasons why you lose games. Ben Simmons makes you play 5-on-4 offensively. Killer, your primary ball handler in a heavy three-point shooting league, doesn't even deserve any sort of respect where guys can sag off and then double a Joel Embiid, double some of your other players because we don't respect a damn thing you do. So there's that. There's Al Horford being the biggest fraud who deserves to be in jail because of him stealing money and basically theft. He's a thief, so he should be in jail. Al Horford, oh man, but you're constantly getting to the second round and you're constantly getting deep in the series. And if you have 3-2 series lead and you're on your home floor at game 6, and that's what you're constantly doing, I promise you, Maxey, Joel, Oubre, someone else, they can do it. They can do it. So I know they haven't done it. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of turmoil because you don't want to dive heavily in until you're proven. You've been heartbroken so many times. You've been sucked into it so many times that I'm done. Fool me 1 time, shame on me. Fool me 2 times, shame on me. I think I screwed that up before. I think I did the same exact thing before once. Exactly, verbatim. And then reacted the same way. Or I'm having deja vu. I'm lacking sleep lately. We're day 4 or 5 of the newborn. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get her to stop crying, feeding. Let's go. You gotta go quicker here. It's 4:30 at 30 minutes. It's come on, drink, please. The bottle. Come on, let's go. Can we please faster, please? I'm tired. My eyes are sagging. But yes, are you buying in? Is it time to buy in? I always thought that they were right there. They kept feeling, and there were reasons why, but you're right there. If you keep getting right there, you'll eventually get through. See what we got. Let's see what we got. All right, everybody. I love you guys to death. You guys are the greatest in the world. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll be talking very soon. Sorry for the delay on some Sixers content, but the Eagles are definitely very conversational right now, and they are running away with things. So it is running away with things in regards to being sort of in control of dialogue in the city. Not so much running away with things, having success on the football field. All right, everybody. I love you guys to death. We'll talk soon. See you on the next one.